Welcome to the um, uh, welcome to the analytic execution review session. Today, I'll be talking about creating hypotheses. This is a question about new geography. The question mentions that let's say we are in a PM of calm meditation app. We launch app in a new country, but find out that isn't performing well as expected. What would you investigate to find out why? To do this, we'll start with asking the clarifying questions. Second step is to brainstorm some hypotheses. Third step is to validate those hypotheses using some charts and metrics. And third step is to provide the some recommendations on what are next steps. So let's get started. I'll try to get this in within 9 minutes. So first let's get started. What we need to do, and let's say, hmm, let me ask some clarifying questions now. Uh, the first is to understand the metric itself. Is there a specific metric or data points that prompt this claim? I asked the interviewer. And let's say the interviewer says, yes, we have noticed few concerning trends in data. Specifically, we have observed lower than expected user engagement rates, higher uninstall rates shortly after installation, etc. Then I ask on the question to the interviewer about importance of metrics. Is this metric consequential to team? I ask. And interview, let's say interview would reply, that's insightful follow-up. All these metrics are important, but the impact can vary based on a specific goal and stage of product's life cycle. For this situation, we are particularly concerned with user engagement rates and uninstall rates. Now, I'll ask further clarifying questions. User engagement rates. Let me Let me try to understand what user engagement rates mean. This refers to frequency and depth of interaction users have with our app. It includes metrics such as number of daily or monthly active users, session frequency, session frequency, session durations, and specific action taken within our app. Uninstall rates. This measures percentage of users who uninstall app within a certain time frame after downloading it. High uninstall rates can indicate dissatisfaction to unmet expectations, suggesting that users are not finding value in app or encouraging encountering issues that lead them to remove it from the devices. So this is what answer I get. So and I ask the user like, is what it means, and typically he would say yes. Are you dealing with proportional metric? I ask the next question, and let's say interview would reply yes. We can look at these metrics in proportional context. For user engagement, we might measure proportion of active users to total downloads or average number of sessions per user. For uninstall rates, we can consider percent of users who uninstall app related to the total number of downloads within a specific time frame. Now, 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 as a next step, I would try to ask the scope of the problem here. How big is the change? Is it both? Can you say in both relative and absolute terms? Relative impact. Knowing the percentage change helps to understand significance of change in context. For example, 10% drop in user engagement might be more concerning than 2% drop. Excellent point. Here's data to help you with this analysis. In our established market, daily active users rate is around 30% total download. In new country, DA is only 15%. That's 50% decrease in relative term. Average session duration in established market is 20 minutes, while new market is 12 minutes, which is a 40% decrease. Now, another question. And understand this actual numbers, absolute impact. Understanding actual numerical change provides a clear picture of scale. For instance, losing 1,000 users might be more alarming than 100 users. In absolute terms, this translates to 500,000 active users daily status market compared to 50,000 active market. In terms of session duration, users status market average 20,000 hours per day, whereas in users in the new market average 10,000 hours per day. Now, let's under question: are other metrics declining? Yes, the interview says retention metrics. What's the users returning app after first week is significantly lower than new market. In established market, we see a 40% retention, but new market is 20%. Now, conversion rate. Number of users who upgrade from free version to paid version is lower. In established market is 5% conversion, while new market is 1.5%. Time frame. Is a sudden change or gradual change, I ask. And the interviewers say, gradually. We haven't tracked these metrics on a weekly basis since the launch. Trend. The changes have been gradual rather than sudden. Since launch 3 months ago, we have seen consistent decline each week. Now, we want to also understand like what is causing decline, and we have to segment the user. We had asked, is the change impacting certain age group? Uh, and the user says yes. Younger age group 18-24, this group shows significant decline in engagement retention. Average session duration is particularly low, unsell rates are high. Middle-aged users, segment showing moderate decline in engagement metric, but not as severe as young users. Their conversion rates to the paid subscription are slightly better, but still below the expectation. Older users, this group seem relatively stable with minor declines. They have higher session duration and lower unsell rates compared to other age group. Now we move on to some brainstorming hypotheses. Let's brainstorm hypothesis here. For this hypothesis, we say that since app is launched a new market, there must have been a boost in sign up due to virality. At time people went by when people at this time when people did not saw much value in the product and daily active users declined. Younger users were significantly impacted by this decline. You may also see the feature requests from young users more than any feature requests or complaints or feedback more than anyone else in feedback spectrum, in a feedback system. So for this, we will do a line chart, total daily active users for a month by month since the launch, and then we'll do it by the segment. And then we'll do a second line chart. We'll do a monthly feature requests by age group and by segment. And lastly, for primary action, for its correct reaction, we'll review the feature requests and see if they can be implemented on a priority basis. And secondly, we'll continuously monitor computers analysis for feature requests that have garnered high uses by teenagers. That's our kappa action, and that's all for today. So what we learned today? We learned about and we learned about what? We learned about some creating hypothesis. This was about an app called PM of the Calm meditation app, and we tried to investigate why the why the app was not performing well in the new market they were just launched. And we look at a few metrics and try to create some charts and see how we can find out what is causing the issue. So that's all for today. I will see you next learning session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.